Disrespect is something we all face, whether in the workplace, within our families, or even among strangers. It's a harsh reality, and yet it seems to be an inevitable part of daily life. But what if I told you that demanding respect doesn't always mean confrontation or proving yourself? Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus have long taught that true power lies not in how others treat us, but in how we respond to them. In this video, we'll explore 5 powerful attitudes that, when practiced, can help disarm disrespect and leave you feeling in control of your emotional world. Why Stoicism, you ask? Well, Stoicism is a philosophy that emphasizes emotional control, resilience, and inner strength. It encourages us to focus on what is within our power, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, rather than being at the mercy of external events. When it comes to dealing with disrespect, Stoicism doesn't suggest we ignore the issue, but rather face it with wisdom, calmness, and dignity. It teaches us to maintain our inner peace even when the world around us is chaotic. Indifference, in Stoic philosophy, doesn't mean apathy or disengagement from the world around us. Rather, it refers to a mental stance where external events, particularly those that challenge our peace of mind, like disrespect, don't have the power to affect our emotional state. Indifference is the ability to separate your internal world from external disruptions, recognizing that you cannot control how others behave, but you can control how you respond. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, wisely stated, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." This teaching is at the core of Stoic thought. Indifference allows you to keep your emotional balance regardless of the actions or words of others. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending problems don't exist. Instead, it's about maintaining a steady internal state, no matter what's happening around you. In everyday life, indifference can be incredibly powerful. Imagine a coworker making a rude comment in a meeting or a family member offering a snide remark at dinner. Or perhaps you encounter a casual insult online. In these moments, choosing not to react, not to give in to anger, frustration, or self-doubt is a perfect application of Stoic indifference. By not allowing the insult to affect you, you show emotional strength and control. Your peace of mind isn't up for negotiation based on other people's behavior. The psychological impact of practicing indifference is profound. By not reacting emotionally, you avoid fueling negative feelings like anger, resentment, or stress. This prevents these emotions from taking hold and dictating your behavior. Over time, it cultivates emotional freedom, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with a sense of calm. You become less dependent on how others treat you for your sense of peace. Instead, you realize that your emotional state is entirely in your hands. To practice indifference, start with small steps. Take a deep breath before reacting to a negative comment, pause and reflect, or simply choose silence over confrontation. Let the words or actions of others roll off without giving them emotional weight. In doing so, you'll protect your inner peace and develop the strength to handle even the most disrespectful situations with grace. Self-respect, from a Stoic perspective, is not about arrogance or pride, but rather about recognizing and valuing your own inherent worth, regardless of how others perceive you. It's a deep understanding that your value comes from within, not from external validation. This means acknowledging that you control how you see yourself and that no one else's opinion can diminish your self-worth. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, famously said, "You have control over your mind, not outside events." This reinforces the idea that self-respect begins with the recognition that you hold power over how you think and feel. When you respect yourself, you acknowledge your dignity and worth, irrespective of others' judgments. This creates an inner strength and confidence that not only protects you from being swayed by disrespect, but also naturally invites respect from others. When you don't respect yourself, others are less likely to value you either. Self-respect acts as an invisible boundary, a subtle yet powerful statement that you will not tolerate disrespect. People instinctively respond to your sense of self-worth, and by setting this internal standard, you communicate that you won't allow others to treat you poorly. In essence, your respect for yourself sets the tone for how others interact with you. Consider the scenario of a colleague who disrespects your time, perhaps constantly interrupting you or expecting you to drop everything at a moment's notice. Instead of arguing or defending yourself, you calmly assert your boundaries and continue with your work. You might say something like, "I'm unable to help with that right now, but I can make time tomorrow." This action sends a powerful message. You value your time and will not allow others to take it for granted. To build and maintain self-respect, there are several practical steps you can take. Begin by setting clear boundaries. Know what behaviors you will and won't tolerate. Recognize your worth and avoid seeking validation from others. Speak up for your needs when necessary and act with confidence, knowing that your dignity is not up for negotiation. These small, consistent actions will not only help you respect yourself more, but will also communicate that respect to those around you. Patience is a fundamental Stoic attitude, especially when it comes to dealing with disrespect. It's often misunderstood as simply waiting passively for a situation to resolve itself, but true patience is far more active. It's about maintaining emotional control in challenging situations, ensuring that your responses are measured and thoughtful rather than impulsive or reactive. This allows you to remain composed even in the face of provocation or disrespect, giving you the power to shape your own emotional state rather than letting external circumstances dictate it. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, offered timeless wisdom when he wrote, "How much time he gains, who does not look to see what his neighbor says, or does, or thinks." In other words, when you avoid focusing on the actions and opinions of others, you free yourself from being affected by them. Patience helps you do exactly that. It allows you to take a step back, avoid an immediate emotional reaction, and instead respond with clarity, calmness, and wisdom. Patience disarms disrespect because a lack of reaction often takes the power out of the situation. When someone insults you or attempts to provoke you, responding with anger or defensiveness only fuels the conflict. However, if you remain calm and composed, you deny the other person the satisfaction of seeing you upset. Often, this neutralizes their attempt to provoke a reaction, making them realize their words or actions have no effect on you. Consider a scenario where someone insults you or challenges your abilities. Instead of immediately reacting with anger or frustration, you take a moment to pause. You breathe deeply, giving yourself time to reflect on how you want to respond. When you do respond, it's with clarity and emotional control, showing that you are unaffected by their disrespect. This kind of measured response not only maintains your peace, but also communicates that you are not easily swayed by others' attempts to provoke you. To practice patience in your daily interactions, start by taking a deep breath before reacting to any negative comment or behavior. Resist the urge to speak or react immediately. Give yourself the time to choose a response that aligns with your values, one that reflects emotional control and respect for yourself. With time, this will help you build a habit of patience that can disarm disrespect and allow you to navigate difficult situations with calm confidence. Perspective is a powerful tool in Stoicism as it plays a critical role in shaping how we respond to the world around us. By altering our perspective, we can change the way we experience and react to situations, especially those that trigger negative emotions like disrespect. Stoicism encourages us to see the world through multiple viewpoints, helping us detach from our initial, often emotional reactions. This shift in perspective can significantly reduce the power that disrespect has over us. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and emperor, wisely said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This quote emphasizes the importance of how we interpret and think about situations. If we view an encounter with disrespect as a personal attack, we're likely to feel hurt, angry, or defensive. However, if we choose to view it as a reflection of the other person's struggles or emotional state, we can respond with understanding and calm instead of frustration. Stoics encourage us to consider problems from different angles. They remind us not to take things personally, as the behavior of others often has more to do with their inner world than it does with us. When we broaden our perspective, we gain a deeper understanding that helps us not get swept away by momentary emotions or frustrations. For example, imagine someone cuts in line or behaves rudely in public. In a typical response, you might feel insulted or angry, but by shifting your perspective, you might consider that the person could be having a bad day or dealing with personal challenges. This change in perspective makes it easier to let go of the urge to retaliate or escalate the situation. Instead, you can choose to remain composed and patient, which not only diffuses potential conflict, but also protects your peace of mind. To practice this attitude of perspective, try regularly shifting your view in challenging situations. Ask yourself, what else could be true when faced with disrespectful behavior? Is there something going on in the other person's life that's influencing their actions? Could their behavior be a result of their own struggles rather than a direct attack on you? This shift in mindset will help you respond to situations with greater emotional control, allowing you to disarm disrespect and preserve your inner calm. Forgiveness holds tremendous power in Stoicism, as it allows us to release the emotional weight of negative experiences and free ourselves from the burden of resentment. In Stoic philosophy, forgiveness is not about excusing or condoning the behavior of others, but about choosing to release the grip their actions have on our emotional state. By forgiving, we free ourselves from carrying anger or hurt, which can drain our energy and peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." This teaching reminds us that responding to disrespect with anger or revenge only perpetuates negativity and emotional turmoil. Instead, forgiveness allows us to rise above the situation, maintaining our emotional control and integrity. It's a way of breaking free from the downward spiral of resentment and anger, choosing instead to focus on our own emotional freedom. Forgiveness disarms disrespect because when we forgive, we no longer give the disrespectful person the emotional reaction they seek. Many times, people act out of frustration, insecurity, or even a desire to provoke a reaction. By forgiving them, we take away their power over us. Their actions no longer have the ability to dictate our emotional responses, and we regain control over our state of mind. Consider a scenario where a friend or colleague insults you. Instead of harboring resentment or reacting with anger, you choose to forgive them. This act of forgiveness doesn't mean you condone their behavior, but rather that you refuse to carry the negative emotions forward. You let go of the offense and move forward, emotionally free. This not only changes the dynamic in your relationship, but also allows you to maintain your peace of mind, unaffected by their actions. To practice forgiveness, begin by letting go of small offenses. When someone insults you or disrespects you, pause and choose not to carry the negative energy with you. Reflect on how holding on to grudges only keeps you stuck in a cycle of negativity. Forgiveness doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It can be a daily practice of releasing the small hurts and focusing on maintaining your own emotional well-being. By doing so, you'll find yourself less impacted by disrespect and more at peace with yourself and the world around you. To recap, we've explored 5 Stoic attitudes that can help disarm disrespect: indifference, self-respect, patience, perspective, and forgiveness. These aren't just philosophical concepts, they are practical tools that, when applied, can transform how we interact with others and handle negativity. By practicing these attitudes, we can take control of our emotional world, protect our peace, and respond to disrespect with wisdom and calmness. Now, I encourage you to take the first step by practicing one of these attitudes today. Whether it's responding with patience instead of anger, shifting your perspective in a difficult situation, or letting go of resentment through forgiveness, start small and make it part of your daily life. Remember, the power to maintain your peace is within your control. By applying Stoic wisdom, you can change not only how you handle disrespect, but how you navigate life's challenges with strength and emotional freedom.